Hey guys, Ellen Woodbridge here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. I am just here today, very hot day here where I am, and I'm just here to show you how to make this gorgeous Teepee card. Now, I did show you guys in December that I made a Christmas version of, I just grabbed this out of my put away pile. So I did make a Christmas version of, and I made like 40 of these. So what I thought, since I didn't make these with any of my customers over the Christmas period, I had my catalogue launch on the weekend. So, I'll just move myself for a second and mute myself. Hello, Mr. Bobby, how are you? Sorry, just needed to mute myself. You don't need to listen to me in stereo. So yeah, I had my catalogue launch for the occasions and the celebration catalogue on the weekend. So I wanted to show my customers how quick and easy these, well, not necessarily quick, but easy these cards are. Hello, Miss Helen, thank you so much for joining. So I have used the Butterfly Gala stamp set to make these. Helen, I'm so sorry you missed out making this at our team meeting on Saturday. So sorry, but I hope to see you in February. Hey Deb, how are you? Oh good, I'm so glad. I have seen one. I will give credit where credit is due. My dear friend Ruth Trice, who is Artful Stampin' in the UK, and she is a demonstrator over there. I got this, hello Miss Heidi, I got this, the dimensions and how she makes the base of the card from her. She did it, she did a video and participated in a blog hop maybe in November or December. So I got this totally from her, and I have just made the decorating part my own. Hey Sherry, so now that I've shown you the project and let a few of you come in, what I'll do, I'll pop you up on my tripod and we will get making. So give me 30 seconds. I'll cover up the camera, and then hopefully when you're back, you'll be able to see my work surface. And I do apologise if you can hear any noises in my house today. It's very hot, as I explained earlier, and I do actually have my door to my study open, so you can hear everyone. I've got my son playing video games. I think I've got both of them playing video games because it's already very hot here. Hopefully it's not as hot as yesterday. So this is the card all folded up. This one I haven't put any bling on. I should probably grab the one I do have bling on, but this way you can sort of see two versions of it. And this is the card assembled. So 3 legs and a cute little teepee. So what the basis of the card is 3 squares. So I already have some bits and bobs cut up, but I did want to show you how this sort of started and goes together. The 2 colours that I have used, or 3 if you include the Whisper White, are Highland Heather and Balmy Blue, and I will be using those ones a bit later, so I'll pop those off to the side. Pop that off to the side because I don't need that. Stamp set, Butterfly Gala. So now I didn't use that on this, but basically I'm not very organized today. What's new, everyone? Okay, so the base of these squares is a 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 inch square. So if you use A4 cardstock, did I, Deborah? I'm sure if I did, I would have told you. You've got me thinking now, did I get snail mail from you? Possibly not. I'm sure I would have messaged you and thank you if I did, Deb. Okay, sorry, back to the basics and then I'll get into chatting. So 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 square. So for my Christmas ones, I used pattern paper, but for these ones, I've used balmy blue cardstock. And what I have done is just cut a 3.5 inch strip. And then I stamped it using this wee little set of butterflies right here. So when you get this stamp set, the really cool thing about it is, now, if I was my butterfly punch, where would I be living? Would you still be in my stuff? Ah, right here in front of my face. Good afternoon, Margaret. Thanks for joining. It comes as, you can buy it as a bundle with the butterfly duet punch. So you can buy them separately or you can save 10% and buy them as a bundle. But the good thing is we have 2 butterflies on this punch, and all the stamps are mounted, set as one stamp. So you stamp the little and the big one together, so then you can punch them together. Now, if you don't want to stamp them together, I've just used a post-it note, inked up whichever butterfly that I wanted, and then taken the post-it note off and just gone and stamped as normal. Thank you for sharing, Margaret. That's very much appreciated. The other thing that you can do, if you're brave, I know it can be a bit scary, you can cut the stamp apart if you want. They do go together totally fine. The stamp will not scream. It will not cry. You may cry, but it won't cry. So if that makes you feel more comfortable than masking off if you only want one butterfly, you can do that as well. So I stamped, sorry, I'll just pop this punch down. So I stamped this whole 3.5 inch piece of cardstock in balmy blue ink. And then what I did to get these ready, I just, oops, sorry, knocked you girls on the way down, and Bobby. Okay, I'll just grab my trimmer here. I think I have just need to straighten myself up a touch. Oh, thank you for sharing, Sherry, as well. Okay, so pop this in my trimmer, and I just cut these into 3.5 inch squares. So easy. Now, if you misstamp something or you don't like a section on your pieces, this is the time where you can strategically trim them off. I did a couple of misstampings during my stamping because I was showing people. So, yeah, I'm not concentrating as much as when I'm here by myself. So this is what you're left with. You can use this on your project, you can save it for something else, or you can just discard it. It's up to you, but it is a stamped piece. You could always use your classic label punch and stamp a word and use this as the base. You know, lots of things you can do with it, but I understand small scraps tend to take over one's life. So just put this away, and now all you have to do, now I have done some prep work for you. Now I just use my Tombow glue, and is it going to come out? Helps if I actually squeeze it properly. I've been using so much Tombow recently. Been making so many projects. Well, last week was really prep for my classes on the weekend. So I just like to use dots of glue, so then I know majority of it is covered. So you just very roughly, because you know I'm the queen of handmade, not Hallmark. Okay, right. That's stuck down. You do that for the 3 you've got, but of course I've been prepared for once in my life, and I have prepared 3 earlier. So The next step that you want to do is score your squares diagonally. Now there are two ways that you can do this. You can use your trimmer and your stylus. Now you do have a stylus in your pick me up tool. A stylus comes with this, and my stylus is currently in my box. Or you can use, if you're my stylus that I was just using, you should be on my desk, but alas, it is not. So I've already pre-scored 2. I'm just going to pop this to the side, pop the glue to the side. Ah, found my stylus. All good, it's here. So I was sort of 50-50 on the weekend with my customers and my team between using the scoreboard with the diagonal plate. Now, yes, I know this diagonal plate is actually retired, but I kept it because the scoreboard is still current. Hey, Chris, thanks so much for joining. So I just pop this in the scoreboard. Doesn't matter how, because all your butterflies are going to end up on angles anyway, because we're actually using the only one portion of it, so that's fine. So for cardstock, if I was scoring pattern paper, I would use the large end of my stylus, but because I'm using cardstock, I'm using the little end. Now I like to just start here in the corner, get myself going, and then just slowly and lightly, although I jumped, slowly and lightly just go all the way. Now, I did jump. It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I will just start here again from where I know I have not jumped, and there we go. We are 1 across. Just go over that a few times and we have a nice scored back. Right, pop the scoreboard side because I have done the other 2, and because this is cardstock and cardstock, I will just fold this and use my bone folder just to give them a burnish. Now, if anyone is jumping in now, please do go back to the start to get measurements. I will do a blog post probably tomorrow on this post about this project, and I will also link to Ruth's original video, which is where I got all the measurements and that, because she's in the UK and uses A4 cardstock. So we end up with 3 diagonally scored squares. Now this is the construction part. I'll bring back in my Tombow, pop bone folder away because I'm finished with that. And this is the gluing. Now I had the girls on the weekend do 2 different versions of gluing, but this is the way I found it easier. I just hold one side because I've made a gazillion of these, so I roughly know where to put the glue. I've got to remember to keep on putting it in my glue holder, which is fantastic. So from here I just slide the second piece across, and what I sort of want to make sure is that the tops are nicely married together, so then the teepee will sit flat or sit evenly when it stands up. So then I just turn it on the inside, give this a burnish with my finger. So I've got this one together, then I hold this and go on to the next flap. And we only need to adhere 2 of, I just want to make sure I get glue to the edges. Right, done. So we only glue 2. Now I had a number of people gluing all 3 sides because they didn't want it to collapse, like my one off to the side here that can close flat, and that actually fits in a regular envelope. Okay, so I've got that, and now we have, actually I better just burnish that, otherwise knowing me it will pop open. So that is all together. It folds beautifully in half, and I may even just grab an envelope here and show you that it fits in. Now, I'm sure there are American tutorials out there. I do not have American size cardstock, so I can only do it for our A4 cardstock. So you can see this fits very comfortably in our Stampin' Up! Envelopes. Ready to post in the mail. Okay, so to do the slit, oh dearie me, I'm going to cause an avalanche because the next little thing I want is actually sitting under a pile of stuff. So what we want to do to make the closure, might be easiest to show you here, I've actually put a slit just with a penknife, which I will now open and try not to hurt myself. So I just keep, so I glued here, so I just keep closing over, and I will grab a pencil. Oh no, I want to go this way. Now the reason I didn't want to go that way because I did not want 2 seams together, but if you want that, that's okay. I'm just going to flip those over. And I have a friend who is OCD in one of my downlines. She just eyeballs this, but I just do 2 little pencil tick marks. I open this. Please, if you're watching, keep talking to me. I know I'm giving you lots of information, but I am going to get to the nice decorating start in a sec. And if you're watching over on YouTube, because I will share this over on YouTube, please make sure to give me a thumbs up if you're liking what you're seeing. So I've got my 2 tick marks, and all I do is take my pen blade, and it doesn't have to be a straight line. Just make sure you go through both layers of cardstock. And then what I also do, because this is cardstock, I just use my blade and just open this up, just so then when I close it, the end can go nicely in. Now, I struggle with this just because my hands are the way they are, but it isn't that much of a struggle. So you can see that slips in there, and we have our teepee that is not going to fall over. Now let's see if Ellen can close this pen blade. Yes, I can. Right. So now we are up to the fun decorating bit. So I'll grab back in the one that is all decorated. Now I have once again done some prep work. I have pre-stamped my butterflies. So I have stamped the outline of the butterfly, or the butterflies, should I say, in balmy blue. And I have used, now I'll show you these stamps here. I have used the full stamps, I want to call them. I've used the full stamps in Stamped Off Highland Heather to fill in the insides. and then I just use the solid, I should say solid, not full, the solid little one for the little one. So I've already done those. So what I'm going to do now is punch them out, and then I am going to stamp their bodies. I'll show you why. So the punch already has the bodies on them. So if I stamp the bodies before I punched, I may not get the bodies perfect. Now, let's be honest, I'm not going to stamp the bodies perfect now, but I've got more of a chance to get them lined up after they're punched than when I do before they are punched. Sorry, have to put my tongue in the right place. Right, one, because I've got two here, I will do two. This doesn't want to play with me today. Right, I always like having an extra little tab at the side to line that up. And that will do. Right, they are all punched out. I've perfectly used my piece of paper ready for the bin. Okay, and I have 4 perfect little butterflies. Now I will grab a block that I have sitting here, and I will grab these little body pieces. Okay, and my Highland Heather ink. Now the bodies on the original project I did do in full strength. I think I stamped them off so the butterflies looked a bit translucent. I know, I like them. Highland Heather is actually, despite being in the Suddles family, is actually quite a highly pigmented colour and is quite strong. So stamping it over the Balmy Blue, I was really worried that I'd lose the detail of the Balmy Blue. So you can see I could better line up that body. And I'm just going to pop on, where's the little body? Down here. And do the little ones. Pick that up. Give it a really light touch, being such a small stamp. Now let's see if I can do this. Not bad. Not doing too bad at all with these babies. Right, and the second one. So that is all the stamping I'm going to do with you today, because I have pre-prepared everything else to make my life easier. So I'm just going to pop these off to the side. Hey Karen, thanks so much for joining. I'm just showing how to make a teepee card, and at the moment I'm just at assembling my decoration bits and bobs. So I stamped the Good Things of Life Are Better with You from the Butterfly Gala stamp set, and I punched that out with the 1 3/4 inch punch. Then I have punched out a Balmy Blue layer with the 2 inch punch, and then with the Highland Heather cardstock I have used the Starburst punch. I love my circle punches. I could not live without them. I think I may have even had this 1 3/4 punch before I was even a demonstrator 10 years ago, which yeah, long time. But they're real. That's why I haven't replaced it, because for the moment it is still punching out really well. So I just want to stack these together, and then we've just got to stick them on the card and then just add some rhinestones and it is done. So have you girls despite being holidays and back to work and all of that, being able to steal some craft time. I've been trying very hard. This is me stealing craft time today because I've already had an appointment. I'm sorry, Siri likes talking to me randomly. I've already had an appointment this morning. Needed to get a passport because you have the circle dies. Yeah, I had the punches first, and I do have all the circle punches. Sometimes I just find the circle punches a bit more convenient than grabbing out the big shot. And the circle dies, as you well know, Karen, have smaller increments and have some different sizings. So I like having both, and I like using them in different situations for different reasons. So yeah, I love the variety and spice of life that Stampin' Up! Lets me have. Okay, now this one I sort of misstamped, so it's a bit lower on the circle, but I will be able to, when I layer my butterflies on, I will be able to fix that up. So they are all together. Have our butterflies ready to go. I know I've only got one card base ready. What I might do, I'll open this one that is already decorated, so then you can see what I am aiming for. So you can decorate it flat or you can decorate it open. So this is the back where I've slit in the closure. As I said, you can completely just glue that if you want, but I like the option of being able to send this in the mail. So then from there you want to decide, do you want to use this one or this one? And actually I think I'll use this one because I've got a nice dead spot in the middle where these words will cover perfectly. So I am just going to totally cheat, pop the glue on here. I'm going to pop this on and actually press it down so it sticks. Now don't worry about going over the edges, because when you fold it up you do have some leeway, and in the envelopes you also have some leeway. If I can grab my Christmas one back in, you can see, especially on this side, I did go quite a bit over the edge, and this still fitted in envelopes perfectly. I had no issues at all. It even fitted in the clear, the medium clear envelopes as well, because I did want to protect it. So for my butterflies, I'm going to put one here, and I'm just going to put the glue. Oh, I have someone at my front door. Oh, I have a delivery. That is what it will be. It's probably my favourite man, but it's not a Stampin' Up! Delivery. Oh, yes, it is a Stampin' Up! Delivery. He's my favourite man. 2, thank you very much. I didn't get a shipping notification on one of those, so that's very exciting to get my my order and my customers' orders from the weekend. So what I like to do, especially with these bigger ones, is just give them a bend, so then I've got a flat side to actually glue it on. So I'm just going to hold this, and I just want to get that. It's not going to play with me, is it? Okay, so that is perfect. So I just wanted to get that wing perfectly in that RM width, just so it sits nicely, and that way they're fluttering. I know, it's a small brown box. It's not a big brown box. The other one is from another party that I had on Friday night, which was lingerie. Well, not lingerie. Let's be honest, I needed some bras, so, you know, that came, and I invited some friends over and they ordered some things as well. So, right, so we've got that. Now I'm going to open this up because this is going to be so much easier to put on my rhinestones. Now, never fear, I do have another pack of rhinestones. I would never not have a spare pack of rhinestones or pearls in my stash. Grab my scissors. Oh, that one's moved. Maybe in all the heat it slipped. So as you can see here, I do like putting some of these on the layers, like where the layers overlap. Actually, now that I'm finished playing with glue, I'll just remove my scrap piece. And to get this sitting flatter, I'll just give this another burnish. No, I don't, Karen, but since you came in late, and because I'm just sticking down rhinestones, I will tell you, and I will try and find my other pieces, which are hiding under an ink pad. So to make the base of the box, you need 2 squares, or three each of 2 squares. My cardstock white layer, that is 3 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches, and out of one piece of cardstock, of our A4 cardstock, you get 2 bases. And then for the colored layer, pattern paper, whatever you want to use a 3.5 by 3.5 inch square. So they are, and you need 3 of each. So that is the basis of what you need. Now I need to ask you girls a question. Have you had any of your rhinestones go cloudy? Because I'm just looking at mine and some of them are actually cloudy. I know this is a bit of an old sheet. I came across a partially used sheet and wanted to finish it off. So I actually got this idea and the template, if you must, of how to make these from my friend Ruth Trice, who is a demonstrator in the UK, and her blog and Facebook page is called Artful Stampin. Do you know what? I want to add another one here. It's not looking quite right. Because I can, I'm just going to pop one. Just going to pop one over here. And to balance it out, I'm going to pop. This is not going to play for me. No. Okay, maybe I don't use my rhinestones enough, Deb. Can you guys see in the video that a few of them have gone cloudy? It's if maybe the adhesive's gone funny under them. Not quite sure. Okay. Now I do give all these rhinestones, because this is a 3D card, that is why I have used wet glue. So then everything's nice and strong, but I can also move it with what I need to do. Okay, rhinestones back in their home, so then I can find them later. Okay, so that is our card made. And what's time? Oh, I haven't been on too long. Yay me. It's all the prep work. So yeah, we need our 3 3/4 inch square, 3 of those. We need 3 3.5s. And then what we do, and I'll show you on the inside, we diagonally score them, and you can either do that in your trimmer, or I use my scoreboard with the diagonal plate, which unfortunately you can't get, but I find incredibly useful for myself. Now, when assembling it, you do have a couple of choices. You can actually stick all 3 pieces together, or like me, in the final side, you can use a blade and cut a slit, and then what that means you can post it in the mail nice and flat. But as an intelligence test, when your recipient receives it, yeah, it could be the heat, you're exactly right. As an intelligence test, they need to work out that they just need to pop the end in there, and then you've got it ready to stand up. I know you guys are looking straight down, but you can look straight down, sits up beautifully on a mantle, and if you wanted, you can also write on the inside and write them a lovely message. But what I am going to do, I'm going to grab one of my handy dandy stickers with all my details on it, pop one of these off and pop it on the inside, so then if they may want some as a party or an invitation, or there are lots of things that you can use these for. See, I've already grabbed one in there. I did have 3 of these hanging around. I did. And put one in here. I please apologise. I'm so glad my son didn't really swear then, but he must be getting frustrated at his game. So girls, thank you so much for coming on and saying hi and letting me show you how to make these Teepee cards. I can't wait to see what stamp sets and embellishments and things like that you guys use on yours. If you do want to order any of the supplies that I have used with these today, please head over to my store or contact me and I can place the order for you if you're in Australia. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will hopefully be back in a couple of days to show you a few more projects that I made in my class and with my team over the weekend. Thanks girls, have a great day. Bye.